All right. Welcome back, everyone. It's another beautiful morning. It's also Halloween. Happy Halloween, if you like Halloween like I do. Uh, so I'm doing something different. I'm gonna stream this on YouTube instead of on Twitch. I noticed some audio desync issues when I was streaming on Twitch using Twitch Studio. I couldn't find an easy way to fix that, so I'm gonna try using OBS. I was able to change the audio settings to hopefully match the bitrate that is coming from my my microphone to see if that fixes the desync issues. And as part of using OBS, I figured I'd try out streaming to YouTube as well. So this one will be going on YouTube right away. It'll be streaming on YouTube live, and then I'll probably just upload the recording to Twitch as well, just to see what that's like. So anyway, that's a quick PSA. Again, you can find that YouTube channel if you're coming over from Twitch at youtube.com/, let's build with bits. But that doesn't have anything to do with the weather app that we're building. So let's recap. Our previous stream, we focused on building out this custom progress view that has like an overall progress track and then a ranged progress indicator along with current value. We can see in our mock or in our code here, this is what it looks like right now, which matches pretty close with what we have. It's not super dynamic in terms of the data that we're passing in, so that's something we want to work on. And that's kind of what I want to focus my time today in this stream on, is hooking up the plumbing for the data layer to be able to pass in at least some static data in a way that's organized in a set of data models that ultimately we want to use for the final product, or at least something iteratively close to that. That'll let us be able to put in some dynamic values other than just like now 68 etc. And give us something to mock and test with, and be a little bit more dynamic. And it'll be a nice break from the UI. So that's kind of what I want to focus on today. So let's get right into it. Um, let's focus on the summary view first. Let's create some plumbing here. As we can see with our text, see if I can make this a little bit bigger, make it a little bit easier to see on screen. Um, we're just passing in some static strings here. Let's start to work with some actual data and a data model. For that, I'm going to follow the MVVM pattern for this application. It seems simple enough to just go with MVVM. And for that, we need a model, a view, and a view model. We have our view. We don't necessarily have models just yet, but I'm going to work on the view model for this view. The way I like to do that is I like to make an extension on the view that the view model is going to be attached to. So weather summary view. And I like to create a private class within this view model. I'm sorry, within this view, just called view model. And that will make it very easy to reference that particular view's view model without having to remember like a specific name. We just have to remember the name of the view, and then we can say .view model. So let's do that here. Class view model. We want to make it an observable object. And here in the actual view, we want to have a view model is equal to view model, just like that. And then now that we have a property of view model, we also need to make this a state object. So our view model is going to be a state object that allows it to change. Oh, This can't be let. This needs to be a var since it is going to change. Uh, this state object means it's going to be the weather summary view is going to be responsible for managing the life cycle of this particular view model. And that's going to let us observe changes on the individual properties of the view model and then reflect any of those changes directly within the view. So now our initializer is missing a parameter for that view model. And so here in our weather summary view previews struct, I'm going to add a static var called mock view model, and this will be a weather summary view model, and we're just going to return a weather summary view model for now. And so now we can pass in our mock view model, and everything should be nice and happy. I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. You don't need to be so wide. And let's see. Oh, our weather view is going to complain now because it doesn't have a reference. In the meantime, I'm just going to create a let's do that the same way. Temporarily, I'm going to create a weather summary view model. Weather summary view model. And we're going to just return a weather summary view model. And return it there for now. Just to get everything compiling and make Swift nice and happy. So let's go back to our summary view. Here we are. Nothing's changed because we're not referencing anything in this. Let's look at the kind of data that we need to pull out of that view model. Obviously, we need some sort of location name. We need a current temperature. We need a, I don't know what to call this, like a current condition, current weather condition. And then we need a high temperature and a low temperature for the day. And we need to be able to get those in a formatted way for each one of these. So let's work on that now. In our view model, down here, let's just let's note the kinds of things we need. We need a location name. We need a current temp. We need a current weather condition, and we need a high temp. I guess this is on the day. Daily, let's say current days high temp, and we need a current days low temp. So let's add those here. In our view model, let's see if we can make these. I wonder if I can make these static. Lets. They might need to be vars. But let's see. So let's start with a location name. Let current temp. For the temperature, I feel like we want this to be an integer, and then we can format it. And let's create our initializer here. And so we need to pass it a location name. We'll say Almas Park, and temperature, we'll say it's 68. We're going to have a lot of parameters here, so we're going to go ahead and break these out just like this. Let's see if everything is nice and happy here. our other parts of the app are probably not going to be very happy. In the meantime, let's go ahead and just finish building this out so that we only need to make one of these changes. Let's say let current weather condition. Let's make it a string for now, but there's probably going to be a finite set of weather conditions. Daily, let's say current days, current day high temp, and we're going to also have a current day low temp. We'll make those both integers as well. We have 3 more. Current temp, current weather condition, you need to be a string. Current high, current low, and let's go ahead and format you since you're going to be rather long. And we can say current weather condition, current high temp, current low temp, and we can do this. There we go. Now we need to finish mocking this out. Will Xcode finish that for me? Nope. Current weather condition, mostly sunny. Current day's high, what did we say here? 72, low 52, 72. Current day low, 52. So that's happy. We're going to take this mock value, and I'm going to get really tired of duplicating this, and so maybe for now we can create an extension of weather summary view dot view model, and we'll say that this is mock data. We'll just call it mock data for now. And let's have a static var called mock data that returns a, can I just reference view model? No, I can't. Weather summary view dot view model. And we're going to just return this like that. So now we can get rid of this static var, and we can just reference weather summary view dot view model dot mock data, and we can reference this in the weather view as well. Here, just like that. So less duplication. For the mock data, I only need to change it one place, both for the static preview and for the time being when the application actually runs. I'm going to get rid of daily forecast for now. Daily forecast, since we're just focusing on the summary view. So everything looks nice and happy here, but we're not actually referencing in anything in the view model. So let's change that. We're going to reference the location name. We're going to create a interpolated string with the view model current temp. We've got our condition here, view model dot current weather condition. And for our high and low, we can do another interpolated string of the view model's current day high and view model current day low, which is here. And we have our properties there, so we can probably get rid of that. Cool. Now, nothing's changed. which is fine. I wouldn't expect anything to change. But um, this allows us to at least start to have the plumbing available where we can focus on passing around these view models and injecting them into the views from up here in a way that makes them a little bit more dynamic. Um, one thing that bugs me right now, that kind of it's kind of smelly, is that we're doing some display logic around how to format the the temperature and the high and low temperature here, and I don't really like that. Um, I feel like the formatting of the temperature that should be owned by the view model. The view model's responsibility is to know how to display things like that. So let's change that. I want to be able to format the current temperature within the view model, and I want to be able to ask the view model for the current temperature, maybe in different units as well. If I want to have it in Fahrenheit or Celsius, Kelvin, I want to be able to get that from the view model. Same with the weather condition. I don't like that this is just a string. I feel like there's only a finite number or finite set of these weather conditions, and so uh, I I want to be able to choose that out of the set instead of having to worry about getting the string right every time. And then I want to be able to switch on that thing to be able to maybe provide different treatments on, let's say, the background. If it's mostly sunny, I want to show a background that's mostly sunny. If it's rainy, I want to show a background that's rainy. Having to do that on an actual string will be kind of tedious, and Swift gives us the ability to use things like enums to be able to make that a little bit more manageable. Um, why I don't know why my preview here isn't running. There we go. Uh, huh. Okay. Well, that's kind of well, we'll figure it out. Okay, let's start with the temperature. I I want to be able to deal with the temperature in terms of units, and I want to support two kinds of units at first. If we're just taking in an integer, we have to either be very specific in how we name this, like instead of current temp, we would say current temp Fahrenheit, for example, to enforce or at least clue the API interface to say like this integer value I want needs to be in the units of Fahrenheit. Or if this was current temp C, maybe it would indicate that this should be specified in units Celsius. Um, I don't like I don't necessarily like that because then you're enforcing that constraint within the name of the variable, which seems sort of like a smell. Instead, I think we can do this maybe with an enum. Um, so we might be able to do something like enum uh, temperature, and we have two cases. We have case Fahrenheit, which takes in a value that's an integer, and we have a case Celsius, which also takes in a value, which is an integer. This is neat because then um, I can use this as a type, let's say for current temperature, and then whenever I go to specify what that current temperature is, I can say this is in dot Fahrenheit and it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit, for example. This to me is a lot cleaner. It allows us to enforce um, the the temperature being a certain value. Might be able to allow us to enforce a range of values, and then when I read the code or when I use this interface, I can be a lot more explicit in terms of what the units are, which I think is important. So let's go ahead and change all of these temperatures into from integers into actual temperatures, and we'll change these into degrees Fahrenheit. This was 72, and this was 52. But Now this is broken because I can't I can't just interpolate a an enum without some extra work here. And even more so, I even though I'm explicitly setting the value of this in the in the form of a temperature with given units, when I go to pull that out, if I specify the value in temperature C, for example, in Celsius, maybe I want to get what the Fahrenheit equivalent of that value is. And so I want to create two two accessors on this enum. Let's say value in Fahrenheit. I don't want to keep on typing out Fahrenheit. I'm bad at spelling um, and it's long to type out. So I'll just say value in F for now. And let's make this an integer. And for this, we're going to switch on self. And in the event that we are in Fahrenheit, we can just return value. Do I need to do that? Yes. And then for C, I can return calculated. So here I need to find what the formula for Celsius to Fahrenheit, and we can say to convert temperatures in degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, multiply by 1.8, 9/5, and add 32. So if we're in C, if we're going to Fahrenheit, we just need to multiply by 1.8 and then add 32. So let's do that. Let's multiply by 1.8. And add 32. Now value here, this is an integer, and we're multiplying by double here. And so we need to do this. This is going to complain. For now, we're just going to clamp that value. Actually, maybe we should round this value. I'll go ahead and round it. So let's do 32.0. This is fine. But then we want to round this value. Rounded. That will return another double, and we can then get the integer value out of it. Let's see if this makes sense. Okay, cool. So now we can get the value in Fahrenheit. We want to do the same thing to get the value in Celsius. And instead of doing the math myself, I'm just going to look it up. Convert temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius, subtract 32, and multiply by 5/9, 5556. Which, sure. This is probably bad. There might be some sort of like rounding error with putting this in a double, but for right now, I think this is good enough. This is what we want for if we're going from Fahrenheit to Celsius. If we're in Celsius already, let's just go ahead and return that value. So now we're able to get the value in Fahrenheit to C. It's suggesting that we change these to lets, and I agree with the suggestion. So now we get the value in, we get the integer value in either one of these units, which is great. Now I want to format this value in a string. So let's create another couple of accessors. We'll say var Celsius string. And for that, we're going to return the value in Celsius with our little temperature symbol, which I'm going to get really tired of typing this out, I feel. I wonder if I can just say static let degree symbol. Can I do that? That'd be neat. Let's see if it complains. Temperature dot degree symbol. Neat. That's exactly what I want. Can I fit this on one line? Since it's a pretty simple one-liner, I can. We want to do the same thing for Fahrenheit. I can't spell Fahrenheit, but Google can spell it for me. So let's say Fahrenheit string. This is going to be the value there. And I also want to turn off code wrapping. I can do that easily here. Edit format. Do I need to go into settings? Text editing. Don't wrap. I don't want to do that right now. Cool. So this is good. I've got a new type for temperature. And now in here, instead of interpolating the string in the view itself, I can say view model current temperature Celsius string or Fahrenheit string. And when we go ahead and perhaps add the option for the whole weather app to make all values in one unit or another, then we can switch. We can switch on the string. Oh, sorry, we can switch on that that preference, and then make a determination on what sort of string that we pass in. For here, we can do the same thing. We can say view model dot current day high temp Fahrenheit string, and view model current day low temp dot Fahrenheit string, which is good. I don't know why my live preview isn't working right now. I might need to restart Xcode, but this now works. If I wanted to change this real quick to Celsius string, we can see that 6 degrees. And if we wanted to check our math, let's say 68 F2 Celsius. Oh, that's totally wrong. Oh, I need to subtract 32 and then multiply by 5/9? Okay. Order of operations matter. So let's do that here. Value double 32, then subtract 5. Double value minus 32. 20. That's much better. This is why the live preview would be helpful. Or actually, this is a good idea. This is something that we should actually add unit tests for. So let's go ahead and make a quick unit test. I'm going to add a explicit test unit test case class. Let's call it temperature tests. And I can get rid of the setups. And here, let's call this test test value in F and test value in C. We'll do those. Test value in F. So if I say temperature equals temperature, I need to import clone weather. How do we do this? Add testable import. Temperature. We'll make this, let's start off with a value of 68, for example. And let's assert true, let's assert equal, that temperature is equal to 20. Temperature dot value in C is 20. I can run this really quick. It's testing. It's testing. It's waiting. It's launching. Testing. Awesome. I want to see, where's my tests? Here. Cool. This test tab is really nice. I can see we've got one test here. It passed. Let's do a test value in C. Actually, no, this is test value in C. Let's do test value in F. Let's verify that value in F is actually 68 when we pass in 68. Let's also just say, can make this even simpler. If I'm in C, the value in C should also be 20. And I can do the same thing here, where test value in F is 68. And then in C, 20 should be 68, right? Value in F. Value in F. Let's run both of these. Yay, they pass. So this is good. We got some basic tests just to verify at least that one value matches another within our temperature class. We can also test the string value, which might be helpful to do while we're here. Let's say test, what did we call this? Celsius string and Fahrenheit string. I know how to spell Celsius, so let's start with this. Func test Fahrenheit string throws, and let's do the same thing here, but let's say dot Fahrenheit string, you should be 68, and then where's our degree symbol? Here. Should match that exactly. And we can test Celsius string. And instead of 60, this should be 20. Yep, and they pass. the strings match exactly. So that's good. Our logic works as expected. Is our preview still broken? It sure is, but that's okay. So that's good. Let's work on the we're going to need current condition here. And so let's go ahead and improve how we're doing the condition, the current weather condition. Before we do that, if I keep on adding these types here in this file, one, the file is going to get very large. Two, temperature is going to be used other places, like outside of this file. And so let's go ahead and create a new file specifically for temperature. And let's clean this up a little bit more by adding temperature there. Eventually we can organize the directory structure of the project as a whole so that this just doesn't grow into a big mess. We can break things out into like the views and models, that sort of thing. But we're going to have one for condition as well. In the meantime, let's actually no, that's fine. Let's do condition. Same thing for condition. I want to have an enum for condition. Let's say weather condition. And for here, I want to have things like sunny, cloudy, raining, mostly sunny, partly cloudy. Is there a difference? Maybe thunderstorm, snowing, hailing, maybe. Let's start here. We can always add more to this. We want our weather condition to be a simple set of enumerated values. And then we want to be able to pull display information out of that. So, for example, maybe we just want a string, saying in words what the condition is. Like this is mostly sunny in words. But maybe also we want the corresponding image for the condition. And maybe maybe that's something we could add to the condition, but that then introduces the weather condition knowing about UI elements. And so maybe that's something we don't do. Maybe that's something that's actually done in a separate sort of view model that's just responsible for mapping weather conditions to the responsible glyphs. If we're thinking about what the separation of responsibilities are for these different things. So for now, let's focus on at least returning a string. So we can say that weather condition is custom string convertible, which this protocol allows us to, one, it's got a property called description that when we implement, for instance, if I just return this, now I can use this in, say, an interpolated string. So for the current weather condition, I could use this in place of a string, even if the underlying type isn't a string, it's an enum. So let's do that here, weather condition. I might actually have to interpolate it here. Yes. So description. And then, so here, perfect. We want to say that this is mostly sunny. Is it happy yet? Cool. But our description right now just returns an empty string regardless of the condition. That's obviously not what we want. And so let's switch on self and let's have sunny return sunny. I don't know how many there are. Cloudy, raining, mostly sunny, thunderstorm, snowing. Maybe these should be in alphabetical order to um, make it simple. Closer expression is unused. Maybe he doesn't like the parentheses or the brackets. Cool. Cloudy, raining, mostly sunny, thunderstorm, snowing. And to make this a little bit easier to read, let's go ahead and align these just like this, so we quickly read them. I want to restart Xcode so that hopefully I can get this. I don't know why I feel like it's not liking it because of the mock data static. Is that why? This is really weird. I don't know why the preview. I don't know why Xcode does this. Hang on. Let's quit Xcode and restart it. Sometimes Xcode just needs a Swift kick to get things going. There it is. See? When in doubt with Xcode, give it a restart. We want Fahrenheit string here. And let's say for mock data, let's have a couple different mock datas in our summary view here. We've got mock data for sunny. So let's say sunny mock data. And let's say we wanted raining mock data. Say that it's raining. And your sunny mock data, you're going to complain up here, I know. There's a way to add multiple previews. Let's see if this works. Yeah, nice. So let's have the sunny mock data and the rainy mock data. Here it's raining, and here it's mostly sunny. That's good. Okay, cool. So we've got some basic plumbing. We've got our weather summary view hooked up to a view model and driven by that view model. We've plumbed that down from our weather view into the weather summary view model, into the weather summary view. Let's do the same thing. I've got a little bit more time. I've got maybe 20 minutes. Let's see if we can knock out the hourly forecast as well. That'll be a little bit more interesting because we're going to be dealing with more data versus the simple summary view. So for hourly forecast, we've got a couple of different pieces of data. We've got current daily condition, and then we've got a series of hourly weather snapshots, moments in time. at that given hourly time. I think where a good place to start would be to let's create an extension on hourly forecast view where we're going to have our view model, which is an observable object. So let us get that data and update the UI as the data changes. We're going to have a similar state object. It's a var. We'll call it view model. That's a view model from hourly forecast. And we're going to do similar mock data here. And for that, we will have an extension on hourly forecast view model. Maybe we can find a better way to organize all of our mock data as well. In the meantime, we'll say static var mock. Just give it mock for now. This is going to be a hourly forecast view model. And we're going to return hourly forecast view model. For the view model here, we're going to say hourly forecast view dot view model dot mock in order to return our mock view model, and it's going to complain in the same place in the weather view here. So we're just going to go ahead and fill that in as well. So our hourly forecast view, nothing has changed. We don't have any properties in our view model, and we're definitely not referencing those. This is going to be a little bit more complicated because yes, we've got a current condition here. So let's say that we definitely need a current condition summary. Maybe current weather summary. It's going to be a string. We also need a series of snapshots, like weather snapshots. We'll say weather hourly snapshots. And we're going to need some additional type here. Maybe something like weather snapshot. Yeah. What goes into a weather snapshot? Let's see. Let's have a struct that we call weather snapshot. It's got a thing. Well, one, it's got a time that we can use as a date. That's the sort of snapshot moment in time that we're talking about when we're thinking about the context of the weather. It's got a condition. It's going to be a weather condition. It's got a temperature. At least for right now, that's all that we're rendering. So let's start there. And if we need to add more to this model, then we can add more. We need to create an initializer that I think Xcode can do for us. Ugh. Of course it won't. Oh, it kind of will. That's great. And then for our mock, this view model, it needs a current weather summary, which we can just grab from here. As well as a series of hourly snapshots, which we won't quite give just yet. Cool. Everything seems to be fine. It's still building. You know what? Let's do the hourly snapshots now. Um, for our hourly snapshot, let's create a weather snapshot. We're gonna need some times. So let's start at um, current date, date dot now, and we'll say, why can't I reference that? Hmm? Condition, let's say this is sunny, and the temperature is 68. Oh, because I'm not in the muck. I'm in the extension. There we go. So that's the current snapshot. Now we want to have hourly, and so let's go 1 hour from now. And for that, I wonder if I can do adding time interval. Time interval is in seconds, right? Number of seconds. Okay. I wonder if I get some interesting things to basically specify hour. Huh. Let's do it. Let's do the math ourselves for now. So 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. So 3,600 seconds for the next snapshot. And let's say it's going to stay sunny, but the temperature is going to creep up to 70. And then let's do one more for now. We're going to make this 2 hours from now. And let's say it's going to get cloudy. And the temperature is going to creep up just a little bit to 71. So there's our snapshots. In our view now, let's reference the properties that we added into our view model. For the current weather summary, we'll just reference it there. And instead of doing 23, we actually want to go by for each view model hourly snapshot. And it should complain because it really wants the object that we're iterating over to be identifiable, which this currently does not conform to identifiable, but it can. So let's make an extension for weather snapshot, and let's have that conform to identifiable. Let's see if we need to do anything else. The object identifier is, let's return, I think I want to use the time. Object identifier, unique identifier. Okay, so let's create an identifier. Actually, I wonder if we, object identifier of any type. That's nice. And we'll use the time. Can I use the time? Expect to be an instance of a class or class constrained type. Huh. Interesting. Um, I wonder if I can specify the ID manually. Does it need to be identifiable if I say time, for example? Are you happy? It is happy. It's not happy there. Shocking. Let's see what happens when we build this. It's attaching. It's running. Okay, cool. So it is actually only iterating over these values. For some reason, the preview doesn't like the preview. Um, let's not worry about making the entire struct identifiable for now. But I do want to go ahead and pull this structure out into its own file, just like we did for temperature. Let's call this weather snapshot. I just want to clean up that file a little bit more. We're not going to only reference the weather snapshot in this context, and so let's bring it out. In the event that we do need to make it identifiable, or we need to add any additional extensions, then that will make it very it'll make it cleaner to be able to do that. Cool. So we've got our view model class, we've got our previews, we've got our mock data. Our preview is currently paused. Oh, okay, cool. Now it's working. But we can see that it still says now, and we're not reflecting the mock data like we want. That's because we're not referencing any of that stuff. So, let's do, for the temperature, snapshot dot temperature dot Fahrenheit string. That changes. That's great. System name. Now we get to map our images, our system name images, from the snapshot into the images. The condition in the snapshot to the images that correspond with that snapshot. Even if we're not going to do that within the struct, what we could do is we could have an extension on weather snapshot that has a computed var, and we'll call it. Sorry, not on weather snapshot. I want this on weather condition. Where do we define weather condition? That's in the summary view. This we should pull out into its own file as well. So we'll say weather condition. Pull it up. I hate how Xcode does that. And let's bring this enum into its own file. And I wonder if I can add an extension to an enum. I forget if we can do that. Are you going to complain? Oh, it's fine. Yay. So now we're going to have a computed property, and we'll call this system image. And it's going to be we could make it an image. We could just make it a string. Let's return the image. If we do that, we're going to have to import SwiftUI into this file, which I really don't like to do. I want us to know as little about SwiftUI as possible, so perhaps we just report the system image string. We're going to reuse the switch and get rid of the values that we have here. And we're going to pull up SF symbols again with our weather. So for sunny, we know we're going to want sun max fill. For cloudy, let's see, what's a good cloudy? Cloud fill, sure. Simple. For raining, we've got a couple. We've got drizzle, we've got rain. I guess maybe if we have a separate condition for heavy rain and drizzle, we can add that. And so we'll just use the regular rain. Mostly sunny. Let's see what options we have for mostly sunny. Sun. Want something peeking out over the clouds. We've got sun fill, cloud sun. Would that be mostly sunny or mostly cloudy? Mm, you know what? Maybe we change that from mostly sunny to like partly cloudy. Call that cloud sun fill. And let's refactor this. Rename from mostly sunny. Let's change that to partly cloudy. Thunderstorm. I know we've got a thunderstorm here. Um, somewhere in our rain. Cloud bolt fill. Cloud bolt rain fill. I feel like this is a thunderstorm. Well, I don't know. Let's do this one. It's more dramatic. And then for snowy, let's grab a snowy snowflake. Should we do a cloud with snowflakes? Sleet. Cloud snow. I like that. Ooh, hail. That's neat. Okay, cool. So now we can actually get the system image from the weather condition instance itself. So in our hourly forecast view here, instead of just saying sun max fill, we can get the snapshot condition system image string, and now we have a cloud, except it's yellow. But at least we have it. This is where it would be nice to also have the condition know enough about the about SwiftUI to be able to hand us the right image. Maybe that's something we can do a little bit later, or we could do it here in this view. Let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and do it in the weather condition. It's not good, and we can break this out later. We can create a separate file just for the SwiftUI extensions. But for now, we'll say image. And for here, we're going to say image system name with system image string. Actually, we can do this. We can say var image equals system image string, and we can return image dot, is it the foreground color? For sunny, we want that to be yellow, right? I guess we can change this to some view. Really wanted to specify. Is that happy there? Yep. And we'll just change the color here. We'll say gray for raining, gray, partly cloudy, gray, thunderstorm gray, snowing gray. I believe there is a way to change different aspects of this image. So I could say I want the cloud to be gray, but I want the snowflakes to be blue, for example. Yeah, here. You can specify the the palette rendering. You can say the primary color um, needs to be this color, but the accent color should be this. I believe I can use that. So, for instance, I wonder how I can do that. Um, Exit color will be deprecated. Use asset catalogs or view.tint. Okay, so I can say for raining, foreground color gray, can I say tint? I want that to be blue. And for same for like thunderstorm, that is cloud bolt rain fill. Where is our cloud bolt rain fill? Cloud bolt rain fill. I can say no. Huh. I'll make the accent blue again, at least for now. Let's see if we can do the um, if we can make the bolt different. Snowing, same thing. But not have matching underlying types. So what does the tint return? It still returns some color. Oh, some color? No, some view. Hmm. I wonder what it doesn't like there. You're returning some view. You're returning some view. You might not like it because some view. Hmm. Yeah, fix you, whatever. Hmm. What happens here? Set of these return types. What if we say image equals? It probably won't like this. Yeah. Yeah, it won't like that. Hmm. We're running almost out of time. So instead, let's not worry about the tint for now. Let's see if we can get away with this. It looks like it's happy enough with that. And now in our forecast view, hourly forecast view, we should be able to say snapshot dot condition dot image, and now it's gray. I don't quite like that color. Can we do a light gray? Mm, gray. Can I lighten it? We'll stick with gray for now. We'll make this silhouette. Um, and this is the start of our data model. And when we go up to our total weather view, we should see that starting to change. So now this is a little bit different, a little bit more dynamic. Um, we're passing in an explicit view model into each one of these views. We haven't done the daily forecast view model. We haven't done the view model for the weather view itself that actually injects the individual view models down. But we can do that another time. This is a good stopping point. We've got 2 view models down. We've got a couple more to go. It was a good deviation from the UI work that we were doing. Um, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you have any suggestions or things I could be doing better or differently, leave a comment. Um, if you want to see other examples of projects like this, leave a comment, and we'll make sure to do them. Thanks so much. Have a great day.